Okay, YouTube, let's talk a little bit about head bolts. Now, if you're doing a budget thing like we're doing over here with this one, you know, if you have original head bolts, a lot of times there'll be these 5/8 headed bolts like this, and they're in good shape. Well, you can reuse them. Or you can spend the $38 and buy $38 2022 price, and you can buy the Vortex style head bolts, which is what these are, and these are the standard replacements for a small block Chevrolet. Yes, Kitty, I see you, but you have to get down. So, here's the part number for those. I sell the bolts. If you want to order them from me, I sell a full set for 32 bucks, or you can order them from the parts house for about 38. But if you're going to use these, then you need to put something on them. You need to buff whatever's on them off, get the threads clean and dry, and then put either thread sealant, gasket shellac, or of course that's a Forma gasket, which is, you know, well used. Put one of those on the threads, and you need to apply it about like they've applied it here. You don't want it squeezing out between the head gasket and the you know, and the block and whatever, because it can squeeze off in the cylinders. You don't want that. So if you use these, if you use new bolts, these that have they've already basically got that in them. If you use these and they already got the Teflon in them, then basically you don't have to do anything to them, just use them. But if you ever pull them out, you're going to have to clean that off. Hello, kitty. You're going to have to clean those, you know, buff that off, and then reseal it with something else. Now, like I said, for years and years and years, I've been using Forma gasket or gasket shellac. I've been using this right here, which is just Forma gasket. Been using it for years without problems. So, oh, I didn't talk about ARP bolts. That's a whole nother animal. Now, again, ARP bolts, you could, I mean, they sell their own version of this, and it's basically the same thing. You can also use the gasket shellac on it. I've done it a million times. Now, studs are a little bit different story. I found that if you use anything but this or silicone on studs, and I don't like using silicone, but this on the studs is what you want to use. But what we're doing here is budget stuff, so that's mainly what I'm covering is budget bolts. You know, bolts you would have laying around or something you pulled off an engine. But this only applies to a small block Chevrolet. This is not torque to yield stuff. You know, all your later model engines, LS engines and whatever, torque to yield, use new head bolts. Or buy ARP studs, and then you don't have to use new head bolts every time. But I would recommend one or the other. Do not reuse head bolts. I don't care what anybody on YouTube tells you with an LS or anything that's torque to yield. Don't reuse the head bolts. Trust me, you'll be wishing you had. So anyway, that's where we're at. We're going to get back on this thing.